Hey guys, welcome back to Cooking in College. This week, Super Bowl's coming up. I'm going to teach you guys how to make the best Super Bowl mac and cheese. So what we're going to do, you're just going to need this. That's all you need really. So we're going to make this real quick with you guys. So we're going to remove the lid and cheese sauce mix. There's your cheese sauce mix. You're going to take that out. Add water to fill line in cup and stir. And now we're gonna microwave uncovered on high for 3.5 minutes, okay? This is important. 3.5, no more, no less, okay? And now we wait. Thank you, Chef Mike. When we take it out, nice and cooked, you're gonna open your cheese pack. And dump that baby in there. Now what you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna come in here and grab your tiny whisk. Grab your tiny whisk, okay? That's important. You wanna use a whisk, it makes it so much better. And then we start. So now we plate. There's a secret technique for this, okay? You're gonna sit here, put the plate on top, flip. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, hang on, we're not done yet. Secret weapon, parsley flakes. And there you go. That is your macaroni and cheese. You guys didn't actually think I was serious, did you? Let's make the actual mac and cheese now. Okay, so here's what you're gonna want for the actual mac and cheese, okay? You're gonna want butter, pepper, salt, cayenne pepper, some whole grain mustard or Dijon mustard works well too, whatever sort of pasta you wanna use, some all-purpose flour, and some milk. And then, of course, you're gonna want whatever kind of cheese that you're gonna use. So here, we've got some regular cheddar, some smoked Gouda, some Irish white cheddar, Parmesan, Havarti, and some mozzarella. Okay, so the first step before you do anything, that includes cooking the pasta, you're gonna wanna go ahead and shred the cheese. So for this, you're gonna wanna buy whole cheese like this and then shred it yourself. That'll give you a good factor when it's melting, and most importantly, your mac and cheese will stay creamy for a longer time. And that pre-shredded cheese you can buy, it's covered in anti-clumping agents, so when it melts, it just gets all clumped up and all over your mac and cheese, and it's not right. So if you can, get the whole blocks of cheese. So for this, what we're gonna start with is I'm gonna cube some of the white cheddar, and we also have these mozzarella already divided into pearls. So we're gonna start with that. So with this cube cheese, you're gonna wanna keep it away from the rest while we shred the rest of this. It's gonna be put in the mac and cheese separate from the rest of this. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna give us a good melt factor inside the actual casserole dish thing. So the way you're gonna wanna start is get a big heat-proof bowl, and you shred your cheese, all of it, directly into that. So I'm starting with cheddar.
So
now we're gonna do Havarti. Now I'm gonna do Gouda. And now I'm gonna add in the white cheddar. And then in a separate bowl, I'm gonna shred the Parmesan into that. So now that we have all our cheese shredded and mixed up, we're gonna start making something called a roux. And that's gonna be the foundation of our cheese sauce. So for your roux, over medium heat, you're gonna start melting quarter cup of butter, about half a stick, basically. You're gonna melt that over medium heat, and what you're gonna wanna do is wait until it starts to bubble, and then once it stops bubbling but doesn't start to brown, that's when we're gonna add a half cup of flour. And we're gonna start whisking that really quickly. It's gonna turn into a nice paste, okay? And that's what you want. Now, while we're waiting on this butter to melt, a roux is a combination of some kind of fat, usually butter, and flour. It creates a paste that is used as the foundation for a lot of sauces, okay? And that's gonna give our cheese sauce a nice thick consistency. It's gonna, when we bake it, it's gonna melt. It's gonna be nice and creamy. So now our butter has stopped melting and it's past the sizzling point just before it starts to brown. If it ends up browning, that's okay, but you really wanna try as hard as you can to keep it from browning. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add in our flour. Again, this is a half cup of flour, and we're gonna start mixing. So what's happened now is it started to form a paste. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna grab some refrigerator cold milk, and we're gonna add this in about a half cup at a time until you've added in 4 cups. And when it starts out, it's still gonna be really thick, but as you add in the rest of the milk, it's gonna loosen up and become a nice creamy sauce. So as you add in the milk, you wanna wait until it has all been like combined together and absorbed. The flour's absorbed all the milk before you add the next half cup. You don't want to add it too fast, because if you add it too fast, what will end up happening is your flour will clump, and when you make your sauce, you're going to have these really gross bits of just raw or cooked flour inside your sauce. So we're still working on this over here, but our pot of water has come to a rolling boil. You guys should know how to add pasta or cook pasta at this point. So we're going to add in a pound. We have large macaroni for this, but you can use whatever little pasta piece you want, just something that's gonna hold the cheese sauce really well. So we're gonna add that in. And this is gonna take about 9 to 11 minutes, but always check your box and see how long it recommends. So this says 11 minutes, so we're gonna cook it about 10 minutes because it's gonna be cooked a little bit more once we put it in the baking dish. Once it's in, we're gonna give it a little stir to make sure the noodles don't all stick to each other, and let it come back up to a boil. And a little tip, if you're worried about your pasta boiling over, some kind of wooden something, I have a wooden spoon here, put that over the top and that'll help keep it from boiling over. So now that it's reduced down, it's about the consistency of heavy cream. This is now what we call a bechamel at this point, since we added the milk. You're gonna take this off heat, you're gonna pour it into your bowl of shredded cheese and stir that around until it's all melted and incorporated nicely. You're gonna get every last little bit in there that you can. Put this over here. So now that's in here, you're gonna start mixing it around, and you're gonna use the residual heat to melt the cheese that you have in your roll. So here, it melted pretty quick. If it doesn't all melt immediately, that's fine because we're gonna be baking it anyways. So now if you have any additional flavoring that you want to add in, now would be the time to do that. So I am going to add 2 tablespoons of some whole grain mustard. You can add Dijon too, that works. Also gonna throw in a nice little flirty sprinkle of cayenne pepper. Then something that I pulled out of my secret stash in my fridge. I have some roasted garlic here. I'm gonna throw that in too. With this, it's pretty much just whatever you feel like adding in that you think will make it taste good. So this is all up to personal preference. We're also going to season it with salt and pepper. And there is your cheese sauce. Well, now that's done, we're going to take a second, check on the macaroni here. Well, now that's done, we're going to take a second, check on the macaroni here. Okay, so our macaroni is done. You're gonna go ahead and strain that off. So the way to know that your macaroni is done is it's gonna be soft, it's not gonna be crunchy anymore, but it's gonna spring a little bit, okay? You don't want it to just be mush and fall apart in your mouth. You want it to have a little bit of a spring to it. It's what we call al dente. Okay, so now that we have everything done, we're gonna combine it. We're gonna start, you're gonna start with your macaroni. Steam. And then you're gonna pour in your cheese sauce just over the top. Okay, so at this point, before we start mixing it all up, we're gonna add in our cubed Irish white cheddar. And we're gonna add in our mozzarella. And this is gonna give it nice, cheesy pull apart throughout the whole thing. So we got our little pearls of mozzarella. Gonna spread them around in here. Now you're gonna give everything a good mix until there's cheese everywhere. Okay, so now that you have your cheese mixed around, and it's everywhere in here, you get a nice even layer over it. Here I have our shredded parm, and I added in some shredded cheddar. You're just going to spread that over the top. Another good addition if you would like is like some toasted panko breadcrumbs or something like that. Bacon too. Okay, so this is gonna go into a 375 oven from anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes, just until it gets golden brown on top, okay? Okay, so it's been about, let's say 30 minutes. We threw on the broiler for like the last 5 to get a good, start to get a good like golden brown crust on top. So we're gonna take it out. Oh my God, it smells good. You're gonna wanna let it rest a little bit, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, because it's still molten in there. And if you try to divide it up, it's just gonna cause a mess. Everybody's gonna burn their mouths. You really don't wanna burn your mouth on this, because then you won't be able to taste how amazing it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide it up now. I like to divide it in about 6, but however many people you're entertaining, divide it up that way. Listen to that crust. Now for the taste test. Now that's some macaroni that even Cardi B would be proud of. Thank you guys for coming to Cooking in College this week. If you have any questions or anything like that, don't forget to like the video, comment below. See you guys next week.
Wow, delicious. This will make you never want homemade mac and cheese ever again.